It's March the 2nd, and I'm Alan Kohler of theconstantinvestor.com, and I'm speaking with James West, the CEO of Martin Aircraft Company. G'day, James.
Hi, Alan.
Now, your company floated beginning of 2015 at 40 cents, went to 80 cents, up to $1.20. So I remember at the time it was tremendously exciting, and now it's down to 16 cents, and it's been a terrible, miserable time for those who came in at the float. So how are you feeling now about it?
Look, I think you have to look at this as a longer term investment, and we are certifying a new to industry aircraft here. So there are risks associated with investments like this, but at the end of the day, we are progressing towards the goal of having a certified Series 1 aircraft, which will be a brand new aircraft to the industry, which will be vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. So we are progressing, and look, at the end of the day, the share price will be relatively volatile as we work through this process, and it is a longer term investment.
But your chairman actually opened the annual meeting by saying, "Let me start by making it very clear that your board is not happy with the progress made by the company to the end of the financial year." That must have been a bit of a whack to you. I mean, how unhappy has the board been?
To me personally, so at the end of the day,
you're the CEO, I guess.
Yeah, so I was put in at that time as the CEO, and we significantly restructured the company at that point. So, look, I think at the end of the day, the board is referring to the fact that we didn't make the technical progress that we would have liked in the period since the IPO, and subsequent to that, the company's been significantly restructured and refocused. So our simplified focus is very clearly now on building and testing our Series 1 aircraft and doing physical capability demonstrations to customers, and that is the focus and target of the company.
Was that not the focus before?
The company had a wider focus, and it was attempting to sell the aircraft prior to having a proper demonstrating aircraft. And while we had some engagement, at the end of the day, we did not secure any distributorships or customers prior to having a product that we can actually physically demonstrate. And it's our clear belief that until we can physically demonstrate the capability of the aircraft, we're not going to have meaningful engagement with customers.
In fact, I saw you announce that you've sold 4 Series 1 Jetpacks this week in China. Is that your first sale?
They are our first sales, but I would note that they are experimental aircraft that we'll use for capability demonstrations in China, which will be very similar to the capability demonstrations that we'll do here in New Zealand. So we'll be physically demonstrating the capability of the aircraft to customers in both China and New Zealand, utilising those aircraft.
Oh, so they're not actually a sale, they're more a demonstration model?
They are a sale, but they will be used for demonstration purposes.
So tell us about how the certification's going, both in, I suppose, in New Zealand and elsewhere.
Right, so the certification process is critical for us because we believe to sell meaningful numbers of aircraft we need to be certified. So the first point is that we're working through our operational readiness, and there's a number of requirements we need to cover up with the CAA in relation to our design and our manufacturer and our assembly, and we're well advanced with getting the company operationally ready to certify. And as we work through the current test program and work through the customer requirements and also work through an independent safety assessment, we will determine what the baseline initial commercial product is, and based on that we will understand the exact certification cost and timing, and at that point we will go back to our shareholders letting them know exactly what that baseline aircraft is and how long we think it will cost and how long it will take to get the aircraft certified.
So do you know at this stage how long it will take to get them certified?
No one knows that. Look, all we can do is use best estimates. So at the end of the day, we're taking a complete new aircraft through a certification process. So until we complete our detailed safety assessments and complete what we believe the baseline aircraft is, we will not have an accurate assessment of the cost and timeline.
So, but you wouldn't have taken the job if you didn't think they would be certified?
Oh, we absolutely back our product, and this is why we're working on the process we are. But the process for becoming certified is we have to agree what the baseline product is, which we'll work through what our customer requirements are and our safety assessment and complete our testing program. And based on that, we'll be able to prepare a very detailed plan, which we'll agree with the CAA and also with the FAA in relation to how we will get this aircraft certified.
Yeah, but is the future of the company kind of binary in the sense that if you certify them, you're fine, you're going to sell jetpacks and you've got a business. If you don't get certified, there's no business at all. Is that the situation?
Well, I think that's there's some truth to that. Look, I think in my mind, unless we have a certified aircraft, we'll never sell material numbers of the aircraft. So you're looking at a very cut down business from what we have now. But realistically, in my view, to be a global business, we need to have a certified aircraft.
How much are you going to sell them for?
Look, we will need to work through what the actual baseline aircraft is, and then we'll be having that discussion with our customers around the sales price. But it's not something that we can speculate on in the market at this stage.
But we do regard them, do we, as an aircraft? That's what they are, even though they sit on your back.
They don't sit on your back. This is
see.
a specialist aircraft that you're protected. You have protection mechanisms completely around the pilot. So they are designed with all the normal safety features, and they're not something you strap on your back. It's a specialist aircraft.
Tell us a bit about the properties of it. What does it do?
So it's a very light vertical takeoff and landing aircraft that can obviously fly in areas that fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters can't. And it's a very easy to fly aircraft. So it has a number of benefits over traditional aircraft, and it's also an aircraft that can take a pilot, and if it doesn't take a pilot, it can take a payload, and it can generate power in the sky to power up certain applications such as communication devices. So it has multi-uses.
And will it be having new uses, or will you replace existing aircraft such as helicopters?
Look, I think there will be a lot of new uses, and there are potentially some replacement cases. But ultimately, this is a new to industry aircraft with new applications and features.
I note that you the company burned $10 million last financial year, and the board told you to get the cost down. What have you done to do that, and what sort of cash burn are you going through at the moment?
Right, so our cash burn was significantly higher than 10 million last year because we capitalised a lot of our development costs. So what we had done subsequently is, as part of our simplified focus, is we have reduced the headcount by about a quarter, and we're really just focusing on our core capability to have a team that can build, test and assemble a Jetpack and take it through certification. So we've reduced our headcount back to about 80, which is still a significant number, but you need to have a certain base of people and skill sets to take a new aircraft to market.
I was just looking at your cash flow statement. I obviously read it wrong. There was the $5 million purchase of intangibles as well.
Yeah, you need to look at the capitalised development line because most of our expenditure is capitalised because we meet the development.
So how much did you burn in that financial year?
Look, probably closer to 20.
Yeah, right. So what have you got that down to now?
Look, we will need a similar number or a little smaller in the next 12 months, and that will depend very much on what our certification case looks like, which we will be opening talk to the market in probably about 3 months. But the reality is taking the aircraft through a certification program is very expensive.
And so you're going to have to raise some more money?
So we are looking at the moment, we have an underwrite from our major shareholder for 10 million to get us through the next 12 months commercial development. And as we complete our safety assessment and work through our certification path and timeline, we will go back to the shareholders with what that looks like in relation to timeline and also funding requirements.
So you will call that $10 million from your major shareholder?
No, they've agreed to underwrite it. So the actual mechanism for raising the capital has not been determined yet.
Right. Well, good luck, James. Thanks very much.